Alright, this is my review, my full review of Coromon. Um, and for those of you who are new to the channel, my reviews always fall into a um, triplicate division of what's going on, starting with the good, then going to the bad, and then the ugly. Um, Sorry, the good, yeah, the good, the bad, and the ugly. The good being what I thought was really good about whatever game it was. The bad being what I felt was lacking, and the ugly just being general tidbits that kind of interest me. So without much ado, let's get into it, starting with the good after the cut. So I said this in my pre-review of Coromon, which I will link um, um, in the description. Uh, Coromon is, for lack of a better word, Coromon is. Imagine if if you were a game developer and Pokemon peaked for you in Gen 3, Gen 4. Okay? Imagine that it peaked for you in Gen 3 and Gen 4. And then you just kind of stuck with it. And that's Coromon. And then you basically said, okay, it peaked in terms of design and gameplay mechanics, but I want to take the formula and tweak it to where it's a better experience. That's Coromon. That's essentially what it is. Take Pokemon Gen 3 and Gen 4, combine that together, then add a lot of quality of life changes that make it better. Um, and that's Coromon. Uh, Coromon doesn't have as many Pokemon as those gens, but the cool thing about Coromon is it's a $20 game, and the developers of this game really do have intentions to add more Coromon, new types, to have post-game content, stuff like that come out. Something that we haven't gotten from Pokemon ever, except in Sword and Shield, but I mean, that was basically content that was cut out from the base game that they charged you $60 for, plus another $20-$30 for the expansion. This game doesn't do that. It's $20. I got it on sale for $15.99 when it first came out, and I've been enjoying it. So, Coromon, the goods of Coromon are myriad, but I can encapsulate it in four. First of all, the price point. $15.99 gets you, or at least $15.99 the launch week. I think now it's gone up to $19.99. $20 for a really good Pokemon clone is not a bad ask. The second good thing about Coromon is the Coromon design is actually pretty interesting. I feel that it is. It looks pretty good. Um, so with that being said, the third thing that I like about Coromon is the music is actually pretty good. It's astonishingly good for what you're getting. The music in this game, if someone told you that this music came from a Pokemon game, you could see it. For good and for ill, the music really does feel kind of like you're playing Pokemon, but it's not Pokemon. And yet it is, but it isn't. It's familiar yet not. And fourthly, the gameplay tweaks that this game does to the Pokemon formula are a breath of fresh air to the genre. I haven't seen something this innovative in the Pokemon sphere of gaming since such things as Robopon. So this game is doing a lot. This game is doing a lot, and I really do like what it's doing. So that being said, we'll get to the bad after the cut. So I extolled upon the virtues of this game. Now it's time for me to extol upon the not so good things about this game. For one thing, the game just kind of ends abruptly. Um, You can tell that the developers of this game were basically cutting content in order to get it out the door. Now, I'm not going to hold that against them because this is an indie game, and it had a small team working on it. And these people really want to get this game out the door. So I can't be like, oh no. I will allow such things in a I will allow cut content in an indie game when you have a small studio working on a game because you have to prioritize where your resources go. Now, if a game is a AAA title or, it's being released for $60 and it's coming from a studio that has the resources to complete this game and it's still coming out with missing content, then I have a problem. And I've seen this before. We've all seen this before. Pokemon Sword and Shield. So, if you're an indie studio, you clearly don't have the resources to put like a lot of money into certain things. I can understand that. But while this game does kind of end abruptly, they have been adding new content. They plan to add more new content as time goes by. And this is a game where I would not be upset with them adding an expansion because there are some hanging story threads in the game. There are some mons in the game, dark mon, that have no elemental weakness. You hit them with everything. It does nothing. Magic does nothing. Dark foul attacks do nothing. Poison does nothing. Like they're no selling every element you can hit them with. Physical attacks do nothing. Technique attacks do nothing. So clearly they're going to have to add the type that does damage to dark type mon. And they'll get to that. And I'm okay with that. I'm okay with them adding stuff as time goes by. But that is a negative. Another negative of this game is while it does revamp the Pokemon formula in a lot of ways, there are some things where it stays the same. I mean, right here, you're looking at an evolution. And, I mean, your starters evolve at level 16, just like Pokemon. I mean, like, Coromon is familiar and yet very different. But, I mean, for the price point, can't really get angry. Now, with that being said, the other negatives of this game. I already said that it's kind of short, that it doesn't really, while it is innovative in terms of gameplay, in terms of design, it's like you're playing a long-lost a Pokemon derivative, a Pokemon clone with some production value. Personally, I prefer this art style over what we've been getting with the 3D art styles for Pokemon because it looks plasticky when they went to 3D models. I prefer this model. So, those are the negatives. To re-encapsulate the bad about this game, it's kind of short. Some people may feel it doesn't really innovate the Pokemon formula enough. And there was some cut content. But if you can get past that, it's a really good game. It's a really good game. And the ending of the game is a little bit abrupt. I mean, you can play post... you can continue playing after the ending, but it's like, wow, that just ended. It feels like it feels like there should be more. But, and plus there's an entire area you can't even get to in the game at this point, which is kind of weird. But that's neither here nor there. That's the bad. We'll get to the ugly after the cut. All right, so the ugly about Coromon. The ugly is that this game is, it is it is kind of short. Like, I think I beat Coromon, and let me look this up, because let me get the time right. I beat Coromon in about 34 hours. Your average Pokemon game, even if you're plugging at it for a long time, is going to take you at least 50. But, once again, $50 hours is not that bad. It really isn't. For what you're getting, $50, 50 hours is not really that bad. You don't feel like you're being taken advantage of. The downside, the downside about Coromon, as I said, is it is kind of short. You know, I beat it about 35 hours. And even at standard difficulty, I think I only lost one fight in the game, and that's because I chose poorly when I sent a mon out in a specialized match. Typically speaking, if you understand type matchups and all that type of stuff, the game's not that bad. If you can get past that, those negatives, the game is pretty damn good. Pretty damn good. So, I will give my overall thoughts about the game after the cut. So, the conclusion. An addendum. There is another negative in this game that I completely forgot in my notes. I had it at the bottom. It was like an afterthought. This game was made, you can tell that it probably began life as a mobile game. And some of the button prompts are mobile-esque. And if that bothers you, that might be a negative. If that bothers you. For me, I wasn't really like, oh my god, this game is terrible, but it did kind of bother me a little bit. But aside from that, here's the conclusion. Coromon is a nice Pokemon derivative title that does add enough tweaks and innovations to the gameplay of Pokemon that of the Pokemon knockoffs that it's good. For example, the instead of having PP to power your moves, power points, you have just stamina. And so you can spam a move as much as you like, but your stamina will eventually go down. But the caveat to that is that you can essentially use items to restore your stamina or rest, and that restores 50% of your stamina for that turn if you rest. So juggling your stamina and the various natures and stat affecting abilities and how to use them properly really does make the game more enjoyable. Like I said, this is the best Pokemon game I've played in since X and Y. And the only reason I liked X and Y is because it reminded me of Red and Blue. That is the only reason I liked X and Y, because X and Y felt like a bigger budget Red and Blue. Like you even had the warp panels and the weird Team Rocket style base of Red and Blue in X and Y. Except it was, except you had a shittier villain in X and Y than Giovanni. So with that being said, Coromon is it's the real deal. And I mean, the best thing about Coromon is that you get a 30+ hour Pokemon game for the low price of $20. Even if you get the deluxe version with the soundtrack, it's like $25. So I mean, it's a great deal. For even if you get the deluxe primo version of this game, you're essentially spending under $30. And that's I mean, you can't beat that pricing. I mean, how many quality games do we get that are, literally 50% less of what you, over 50% less than what you would be paying for in other platforms for what it's knocking off? Hopefully this game does well enough that the developers can do a Coromon 2 or an expansion to this game, adding extra content. Between this game coming out this year and the Ascent coming out last year, I think indies have been bringing it in gaming, more so than a lot of AAA mainline developers. But that's my own personal opinion. So with that being said, tell me your thoughts, how you feel about it. Have you played Coromon? Are you interested? If you have any questions about the game, let me know in the comments section, or you can reach me via Discord. That link will also be in the description. I'll also link the Discord in the comment section. So, that's the end. Rate, comment, share, subscribe. Enjoy the rest of the gameplay. Peace. Good night. We have a podcast, the BS Busters podcast, every Wednesday and Saturday, 7:30 p.m. to 9 o'clock p.m. Eastern Standard Time, where we discuss all types of strange and insane bullshit that exists in the video game industry. So with that being said, have a good night, have a good day. This video will be going up tonight. This will be Wednesday the 13th, so that's going to be fun. But yeah, peace.